This podcast contains adult language, descriptions of violence, sexual references, and other possibly offensive themes. Listener discretion is advised. I believe Klaus is frozen. For me.
Yeah, frozen in quiet contemplation. Must be his Klausy connection.
I'm so fucking done.
Just make George sing.
George.
The title of this episode needs to be a pun.
If anyone can talk a Balgarth out of a fight, it's you.
If anyone can keep us alive, it's you.
But if you ask me what my calling would be, I'd say that of a defender of my friends.
You don't need to change anything.
I would give my life to see them through.
I apparently only get into trouble when I'm around you lot.
I never want to have that kind of power over somebody.
She lands upon the deck, but just on her toes, like a dancer, like a ballet dancer, as if the weight of sin has yet to fall on her shoulders.
In the light of nature will be brought to them.
We haven't done this before. Does that make us professional?
That would make you amateurs at best.
At best, I like that.
I've had a hard time finding answers in my life.
I'm glad I'm here too.
Where are you from, Ezekiel?
Wherever your wife goes when she dreams, and I'll walk away.
Fuck you and fuck your will.
There's no redemption for the likes of you.
You were never loved as a child.
How do you want to do this? So...
Welcome back. We're singing Polish Christmas carols.
Oh, great. Wonderful. Are you guys ready to play whatever the hell it is we play?
What is this again?
We'll find out. Chapter 31, Outfoxed. Previously, as the Bronze Scales begin their trek into the INL, they travel through the willow forest and marsh creeks, finding a fisherman and a number of killed Ferdana before reaching the quaint village of Haamel. After enjoying a lively night in the communal barn, the Scales gathered supplies and asked questions as they prepared for their journey ahead, when Ezekiel saw a strange visage in the eyes of the foxwolf. Following the vision, the creature fed upon Ezekiel's blood, who could now hear a voice of riddles in his head. Indigo led the Scales to a nearby stone with chains Melody discovered were enchanted to call sleep. You all prodded for more answers, but Indigo wanted something in return, eventually accepting one of Amson's hats with its feather dipped in Vesper's blood. With Ezekiel and Vesper now both hearing Indigo's voice, the foxwolf spoke riddles, including a glimmer of light to vanquish nightmare's fright, a drop of glitter in the night hides away the nightmare's fright, and a lover in a quarrels game. We'll come back to the story here, as Indigo has just disappeared before you, as you're gathered outside of Haamel, with the noon sun rising between white columnless clouds. The sweet wind rolls through as you stand before the sandstone pillar and chains of enchantment, with Haamel on one side and the Salamis coast on the other. What would you like to do?
Clearly somebody else took charge to get us here, so they should take the charge and lead us out.
Hi, everybody. So that may have been a bit of a rash decision to go and trust random talking fox creature, but I think we did learn that there is something mighty terrible happening around here. And I, for one, think we should do something about it.
Okay, well, what are we going to do about Orisana? Because I don't really want to bring her into the middle of this. And if these people are crazy, here's not a very good place to leave her.
I don't think the town is intentionally doing anything, but,
That's even more worrying.
I don't know, can we find a tree or something?
I just look around me. Lots of trees.
What's the tree for? I feel like I'm missing something.
I don't know, we can put her up there, give her some food, everything's fine. We're not going to be gone that long.
Okay, so Ezekiel can't talk no more. That's done.
We'll make her comfortable.
That's enough out of you, sir.
I don't think the people in town are what we need to be worried about right now.
I don't think it would be a problem to leave him in town. At least, I don't know. Make sure she's aware that something may happen and to just keep on a guard, but...
And she doesn't understand the languages you're speaking right now, but she's wide-eyed, having watched someone prick their finger, dip a feather in it, and then give it to a fox, who then disappeared. And as she's sitting on top of
May I
Raz,
remind you,
the
Ezekiel
horse.
cut his hand open and it ate his blood?
She's nearby. Yeah, she tentatively followed you.
Terrible things.
Just as a general rule, I've been kind of translating for her things that are said. Maybe not in very good detail, but the gist of things.
In which case she would say, I can stay here. I will be with Raz. If something happens, I ride off.
See? Everything's fine. But, Orzana, if you do have to ride off, and I'll take out the map and just point to somewhere north, like, try and head that way, and I'll point the direction.
Okay, through Ezekiel's map and Ellery translating, she says through Ellery, okay, worst case scenario, I head to Birch Grove, and it's the next village up. I'll ride there and wait. But otherwise, I'll be around here. She kind of nods. Did y'all give her anything? I can't remember if y'all gave her a health potion or something. I don't think y'all did.
I can do that now, though, but she does have...
Oh, no, she was going to pull it out and give it to you, but I don't remember if she actually had one.
I don't think so.
Okay.
She has a short bow. We give her that.
Okay.
But I will give her one of the concentrated ones.
She turns it down.
Fine. Ellery, can you explain? She'll be in danger too, possibly. Just in case.
Yeah, when we're all together, we have other means of helping ourselves, but if you're by yourself, you should have something just in case.
I have a horse to ride off on. None will get close to me. Keep it.
No. Horse may need it too if he takes an arrow on the way. Just keep it.
It'll make us feel better at least.
She shrugs. She was searching for something to give to y'all. So, Orzana, over the next minute or so, she says she'll wait in kind of the most open area of Haamel, but on the edge, on the north edge. That way, if she needs to go, she'll ride north to Birch Grove, which is a few days away, but she'll go there and wait for you if she has to. Otherwise, she's going to be right there. She kind of rides off to find that spot with Raz, leaving the rest of y'all together.
So what do we know about this witch so far? Do we know where she is? Some island, right?
Ball, you saw it in your dream. And
As in, like, I saw the place, right?
you saw the place. And in the same vague way that you might know what basic north or south or east or west is, you know the general direction it is, strangely. It didn't hit you until now, but now you're like, it's in that direction. You're not a compass. It's not precise, but it's in that direction.
Okay. I think Daphne is in that direction.
Are we trying to seek her out directly, or are we trying to wait here and see what happens at night?
I thought the intention was we'd stay here and see what happens at night. At least Ezekiel and I think Ellery said she would stay.
Alright, because it was getting later in the day.
Yeah, it's maybe a little past noon. And you also know the coast, because you went inward towards Haamel, is maybe 2 days away or something.
Okay, then we'll stick it out here and at least see what happens at night. Well, do we have anything to do during the day? Maybe we can go try and ask... Was he a mayor? Whoever was housing us.
He didn't have any rank.
Okay, well... Someone
Clyde
old.
Something or other?
Someone old, maybe, who might know
Clyde
what this
Fox.
pillar is useful.
Interesting that his last name is Fox.
That is
And
interesting.
he's the one who met Daphne, apparently. And he's the one who this creature was his pet.
Yeah.
Bound to him, whatever it was that we freed him from.
Should we maybe go talk to Clyde?
I'm a little bit suspicious.
I think we should
To be
talk to
honest.
Clyde and be on our guards. because who knows how that's going to go.
Do y'all do so, or?
Yes.
Okay. So you'll move back towards Haamel, with this not being too far outside of the small village. Heading in, you see all the farmers are back at work, farming once more. You head over to the Fox Farm, where you see all of these numerous kids. All of these families have just a bunch of kids. And then you see Clyde there kind of resting in the shade of a tree eating an apple. It crunches as you walk up to him. Yeah? Is something you need?
We had a few questions.
Sure.
Okay, I guess I'm talking. We were out in the woods, just sort of stretching our legs, taking a stroll, and we found something a bit odd.
Mm-hmm.
Some sort of pillar with chains on it.
Yes.
What is that?
Something of the Verdana, as far as we can tell. Been there for forever.
Can I insight check him?
I was going to ask the same.
Yeah, go ahead.
Only 12.
22.
Vesper, no, he seems just genuinely doesn't know. He kind of, you get like it weirds him out. He doesn't like it. Ellery, he's shorter with his sentences than he normally is. He's normally very friendly, open, welcoming, and he's kind of being curt about this whole thing. I don't know, the place creeps me out, to be honest. But I don't know. Might as well go ask those wild elves. They might know more.
Well, we figured, you lived here long enough, maybe you knew.
Yeah, I think it has something to do with the Verdana, but I don't know what.
How long has it been around?
Since as long as I've been here. Since I was a kid, probably before that.
Well, we noticed your pet, the wolf, was hanging around there. Interested in it?
Yes, I don't know what he is, but yeah, he runs outside of town from time to time. He's not really something you give commands. He just kind of does what he does.
How did you find him, by the way?
It came up to me. One day it wouldn't stop following me. Eventually I fed him some food and, well, he just stuck around. And he kind of takes a crunch. It looks like he's about finished with his apple at this point. He stands up. He was kind of sitting, leaning against the tree, and stands up. Oh, well, all to get back to it. If y'all need anything else, just holler at me. He kind of nods and kind of like moves through you. It looks like he's going to get a pitchfork or a hoe or something from under the barn.
You're all children.
I just loved Michael and I nodding and Katie just shaking her head.
Well, that didn't go anywhere. He didn't really seem to know anything.
He didn't want to talk about anything.
I seemed disturbed by it.
Well, do we think it's worth trying to find somebody else in town who knows about it, or should we just try and wait it out, see what happens tonight?
Is there anyone else in town we think might know about it?
Damn, you know what I just thought of? That I wish I'd asked before he left, because I don't know how to bring it up casually now. I want to know what he says his pet's name is. Because if the name that
We could just say Indigo around him and see if
he reacts.
Yeah.
Well, we could, or I don't know.
I'm pretty sure when y'all were moving around yesterday, y'all heard others and him refer to it as Indigo. They knew its name.
Well, that's curious.
The question is, do they know its name because it told them, or did it just adopt the name that they gave it?
It doesn't seem like the type of creature that would adopt a name.
True.
But that is pure speculation.
I think...
Oh, it could be a name it's used in a lot of, stories and histories talk about names having power. You don't always use your real name, especially different creatures like that.
That's fair.
I know fiends tend to use aliases, and you're not supposed to give them your real name. I don't know a lot about Fae, but I know more about that side of things.
Regardless, I definitely think Clyde is leaving some information out of what he's telling us.
He said he fed Indigo. Did he feed him food, or the way Ezekiel did?
I don't know. It's possible he knows more than he's letting on. We could tail him as others are watching the pillar.
Yeah. Did anyone notice how much he was drinking last night? Maybe if we get him a bit off, he'll be more loose-lipped.
Well, there was a lot of drinking going on, but I didn't notice him specifically.
I don't know. It still feels like we're missing something important. And that creature, the fear and the glitter, I'm just not sure what it can mean yet. But it seems like nighttime is when we were most likely to find her.
I hate to ask Ball to try and reach out, but he's got the best connection.
I look at Ball. How did you learn that her name is Daphne anyway? She told you somehow?
Yes. She did when she was talking to you.
In your dream?
No, you were beside me at that time.
Oh, when you weren't answering us. She was talking to you then?
Yes.
Has she said anything to you since then?
Klaus? No, but I think that she wants me to visit her. Find out more about this misunderstanding.
Misunderstanding?
About whether she really is this wicked Amber Witch, or maybe just a misunderstood person, as we were with the Verdana. We weren't there to take their land.
Well, do we want to wait and see if anything happens tonight, and if not, let Ball lead us to where we need to go?
I think that's a good idea. Maybe half of us watch Clyde, the other half stay here. That way we're not in too many groups and too small.
How far away is the pillar from the party barn?
They're a good ways away. They're kind of on opposite corners. They're both on the north end, but northeast versus northwest corner-ish.
And which one is on which side?
The pillar's on the west side, closer to the ocean.
Okay.
So you guys are just going to wait, kind of stake out until nightfall? I mentioned splitting groups. Who's going where?
We should have at least one person who's quiet with both groups. Possibly more of the louder ones over at the barn. Whoever's waiting in the woods, we should try and all be pretty quiet, observant, and can see in the dark, which I think is most of us.
I think I should probably be with the watchers at the pillar. I think Amson, since he's our best talker, should probably be at the barn.
I think I'd like to be by the pillar. I don't think that I want to be partying.
It's a good idea. Ezekiel can heal, so I'll go with Amson to the barn. Maybe take Millie and Calvin?
Yeah. I can help try and keep Ball and I hidden.
Okay. So y'all kind of wait and split up so you can watch. If
you guys have a way to tell us if something goes wrong before we leave? Is there anything you guys can do to kind of notify us if something goes horribly wrong?
That is why I was wondering how far away the barn was.
I am looking what I have prepared today. I know I did not take Skywrite, so...
We'll just tell you guys out of character that we're in trouble, and then you guys will conveniently come in to check on us.
Okay. That should work.
And it's on the other side of the village, but this village is small. So you could sprinting from place to place probably in like 2 minutes.
Yeah.
So it's, in combat, that's a lot of rounds, but out of combat, that's, you don't get there fairly quickly. So, okay. So you guys wait, you split up. If you're getting somewhere and are hiding somewhere, which I think that's the forced pillar group and not the others. Go ahead and roll a stealth check and then a perception check. And then the other group, if you are just going, hanging out, drinking, and just watching, just give me a straight perception check. Or you can do insight.
We're going to be waiting for a while, right? So Pass Without a Trace isn't actually going to be helpful unless I'm constantly casting.
Yeah, unless you want to wait till like a specific time or something, you can tell me.
Yeah, but I don't really...
It's going to be hours.
So I'm just not going to bother. Sorry, guys. We're on our own. But I will, to make mine not quite so shitty... Jesus, Ball. I will go Panther again.
Okay.
Or actually, no. I'm going to go Giant Spider and try and find a tree to be up in.
Tons of trees all over.
So I'll just get myself a nice little web on one of the tree branches over the pillar and try and blend in there. I'm just pulling up the sheet for my stealth and perception.
Okay. So Ezekiel and Spider, as you kind of find your place in the willow trees, you're able to kind of spider up in there, getting to where the leaves cover you almost entirely. The others can see where he is, but just barely. Like sometimes you lose sight of him and you know where he is. Let's see, Ball. These are willow trees. There's no big oak trees to hide behind. There's no big logs. There's no boulders. There's really nothing big enough for Ball to hide behind at all.
So it's one of those things where Ball like stands in front of the willow tree where like the willow leaves are like falling and he's just like covering his head behind them, but the rest of his giant body is exposed. So
exactly. So maybe if someone's blindfolded, they might not see you, but otherwise. And was it just those two, or Ellery, were you with the pillar group as well?
Yeah, I was with the pillar group.
Okay. So yeah, you're small enough to be able to actually use a willow tree to kind of hide behind. All right. So you guys get there. You'll wait several hours. The sun begins to set, trailing light between the leaves of the willow trees until nightfall. Nothing. No one comes to check out the pillar. You can occasionally hear whoops and hollers from the farmers as the working day is done and they begin to move towards the barn. The barn crew, you guys head there. You wait. You look around. People start drinking as they do before. You see a lot of the same faces. They do the same kind of thing where they want to get you involved, give you wine, get you dancing. And they all, let's see, you don't really see anything suspicious or different from the night. The only person that may have noticed something is Vesper. You notice Clyde hasn't come over and given you wine or invited you to dance or anything. Just kind of avoiding y'all in general.
I'll nudge Amson then. Clyde's avoiding us.
Ah. Have you even seen him? I haven't seen him. I haven't seen anybody.
Hey. He's here though, right, Klaus?
Yeah, everybody's here.
I'll point him out then.
Ah.
Stand on your tiptoes, maybe you can see him then.
You're not that much taller than I am. Anyways, if you want me to go talk to him, I guess I could.
Yeah, let's go and, I don't know, get him out on the floor or something.
Alright. Offer him a dance or something, some drinks.
You make your way through the crowds to him, and he's kind of leaning up against the crate, drinking wine. Hey again.
Hey there, Clyde. Good party, huh?
Hey. Yeah, always is.
Oh, what kind of drink is that? I don't think I've had it before.
No, it's wine here. And he hands you the entire cup. And he just looks around, and there's a couple of other cups on this crate that's being used as a table, and he just grabs another one. Oh. This stuff flows.
Thank you.
Yeah, of course. He's just looking at you all, staring at him. There's plenty more wine. He kind of points at the makeshift bar. If you want some, got several barrels. Can I do something for you?
I just want to thank you for your hospitality.
Oh, yeah, of course. You're welcome anytime. You can stay in tonight if you need to. Lawn's yours.
We might. I think we have an errand. You don't mind if Orizana stays a bit longer than we do?
Of
We'll be
course
back
not.
for her.
Yeah, it's fine. Yeah, we know how to take care of horses around here too, so no problem at all.
Kind of elbow Amson a little bit.
Player character dissonance is an amazing thing.
Right. Listen, Swan can talk, Vesper can't.
Vesper's starting to understand why Clyde was avoiding.
And
Yeah.
it's
like,
the
"Oh,
opposite
okay, I
for
get it."
me. Amson's charisma is 16. My real life charisma is probably like 7. Okay. I guess I'll just keep trying to make a little bit of small talk with Clyde for the time being.
Okay.
Ask him about where does this wine come from? Do they grow it themselves? How old is it? That kind of thing.
Yeah. He carries the conversation with you, tells you about it. Muscadine-based wine. It's kind of sweet, but yeah, you chat with him for a little while. Nothing's really out of the ordinary comes up. But y'all continue this conversation. You'll have some wine. You'll listen to the music. Maybe some of you dance. Jumping back over to Pillar Party, who's mostly very, very hidden, besides Ball. You're waiting. You hear the crickets among the willow forest surrounding Haamel and this whole coastline. When Ball, you kind of are dazing out into the forest, just watching for any movement. And you see a glimmer of light, and the forest seems to part like curtains for you. And walking between them, you see your friend. She smiles as she approaches. The night seems to fade away into a high noon sunny day as she steps over to you.
Didn't expect to see you here.
Yeah. Are you coming?
I think we will be coming soon.
You should leave tonight with the flower.
Why should we leave tonight?
Make a wisdom saving throw.
That's a 22 for you, Klaus.
So you feel different from before. Where before you felt her as almost a friend, you feel in this moment she is trying to manipulate. You feel a power that begins to push over you, and it nearly pulls you in with its magnetism. But you hold fast, and it passes. And she kind of withdraws.
As soon as I have that moment, like my instinct, I think, will be to like divine sense and see if there's something not so friendly or like more evil about her.
Okay. So sensing out, this is probably the first time you've sensed something like this. You sense something beyond, something that is only of dreams and myths. You sense Fae mechanically. And it's so different from the stories of demons and angels. This is something strange and foreign to you. But that's what you sense.
All right, so I think when she asks me or like tells me to leave tonight, and Ball's kind of like mid-sentence about to ask basically why the rush, that's when he stops, feels the sensation of trying to be manipulated, and mid-sentence kind of pauses to use his divine sense, and then just kind of like a moment of silence while he's processing, I guess, what he's found out. You're not really my friend, are you?
I was afraid it would come to this.
I thought you said that you were misunderstood.
I am. And yet sometimes people have to be forced into understanding. I still think you should come visit me.
I was planning on it, but I don't understand why you needed to force me to see you. I thought that you wanted to be understood.
I'm afraid your friends may leave and take you with them. I was afraid you would leave me.
Why is this heart, this flower, so important to you?
I raised it myself. Good in the darkness. It flourished. I love it like a child. And it's dying. I can save it. We can save it. The visage of her puts her hand on your forearm, and you feel warmth of the sun.
I don't understand. And I'll look around. I mean, it's kind of like a forest vibe, the setting.
Yeah, it's a forest of willow trees. Thick, dark, except for where she is.
And then, are there signs of, flowers or weeds or any other, I guess what kind of plant life do I see near
there's vines. There's not much underbrush as far as bushes. There's moss on a few stones here or there. There's kind of knee-high grasses, but mostly just the willow trees and vines hanging.
So I think I'll say, I don't understand. You look around. Plants and flowers grow and die and grow again. And as I'm saying this, using Driftcraft, I'm just going to kind of mimic the raising, the growing and dying of a flower in the palm of my hand. The one that she's got her hand on.
This flower can die, but without my help, it can't grow again.
And why does it need to grow again? Are there not other flowers like it?
You should come see me. You can see her expression changing. The smile drops. All will be explained. I can help you understand.
Will you help us understand, or will you force us to understand?
You're wise. And she gestures towards the cycling plants of death and life. I believe I wouldn't need to.
Can I kind of, I guess, I want to insight check and see if, when she says that, if there's kind of some hint of, violence associated with the idea of needing to.
Sure. Roll an insight check.
I don't know if I could even garner that from this, but that's kind of what I want to see if it's a hostile thing or just a little less, not physically hostile. Let's see. 18.
It's hard to see past her smile, which is recovered now. This ever-present near smirk of a smile. It's sweet and friendly and innocent. And though the words don't always match with it, it's hard for you to imagine any sort of implication of danger. If there is, she doesn't show it with her facial expressions, though you hear her words.
I hope that you will be treated as guests and not as enemies when we see you.
I can send a guide, a wishlight, to light the way. We will pass freely through the Daydream Bask. No Verdana will touch you.
And if my friends choose not to return the flower to you, what then?
After I explain its importance, I believe they will. But if they don't, that is their choice.
I look forward to understanding you better, Daphne.
See you soon. And she fades, the sunlight going out and darkness returning.
Does it go back to me trying to hide underneath the willow tree?
Yeah, you're still where you were. Ezekiel, that you kind of lose sight of him, seems to be probably where he still is. Ellery the same.
Did we hear anything?
Ball just kind of was staring off into the woods for a little while.
Alright, so that's normal.
And is there any sign of this, was it called a wishlight? The guide?
Not initially.
Okay, I think maybe as she fades, I'll say, wonder where this... Maybe I won't say anything. I'll just kind of look out, and I'm trying to look for this kind of wishlight, kind of like a sign.
Okay. So about 20 minutes or so go by, and you all now be able to see the purple light. It kind of slowly hovers, bouncing through the woods from the west, glowing with violet purple light, slowly coming closer.
As soon as I see the light, I'm going to take up my mirror, kind of visualize Ezekiel's face in the surface, and cast message, and just ask, do you see that?
I kind of just, click my mandibles together.
Okay. Yeah, you hear that. You hear the mandible clicking. Another
I think
minute passes.
While Ezekiel's trying to decipher, or they're trying to decipher or communicate with each other, I think if Ball sees it, Ball will start to approach it.
Sure.
Ball, what are you doing?
And after a minute, Ball, you kind of stand up and begin to step forward. It's now floating close enough to where it's obvious. It's not hiding. It's glowing purple in a dark forest. And you all see it as Ball approaches it, and it floats up about at Ball's head level.
I shoot a web at it.
What?
Okay. I forget if these things can be affected by that, but I think they can, right?
I like that I was just about to be like, hey, don't worry, guys.
That's what you hadn't said anything yet.
As Ball is opening its mouth to you, like, to...
Is that an attack roll?
It is.
Okay. Go ahead and roll.
No, I missed. That's a 9.
Okay. That doesn't do damage, right? It just, like, restrains?
Yeah.
Okay, so the web kind of passes through the light and then falls onto the ground beyond. The light kind of bobs back and forth and then begins to drift away. Slowly, very slowly.
I think I'll call it and say, no, it's okay. We won't harm you. Ezekiel, this is our guide to see Daphne. And then as I say that, I'll also look at Ellery and acknowledge her.
Are we going to see her right now?
I don't think that is necessary, but it'd be nice to have a guide. And when I call out to it, like, does the glowing light respond at all, or is it just still flying away?
It stops flying away. It's just kind of hovering a ways away, just kind of waiting to see if you go.
I don't know if it will wait for us, but I believe she will.
Was she talking to you again?
Yes. Not too long ago. I think she is growing impatient. She wants to see her flower return to her. She is dying. Do not know the significance of that. And then, I guess, like, Ball will pause and just kind of under his breath be like, flowers die and are reborn.
Do you want to go see her?
I think I'd like to see it. She is really misunderstood. Not everything needs to be redeemed through death.
I'll drop spider form. Well, we can't go anywhere without the rest of them, so let's head back, see what happens, what they want to do, if we rest the night and set out in the morning, or what.
Will this thing stick around if we wait overnight?
I think Ball will ask it. Ball will kind of more or less repeat that and say, Guide, will you wait for us?
The light just is hovering there. It doesn't seem to respond.
I'll try to reach out my hand to it. You know, it's kind of like a bird trainer. I'm sure there's a fancy word for it. But like when they put their arm out and just the bird kind of flies to it, Ball's going to try to do that by putting his hand out.
Your hand tingles as it gets close. You can see the red lightning within kind of...
Oh yeah, we were attacked by these things before. Like, don't touch it.
It's just like on your finger as you pull it away. Not enough to do damage, but it doesn't like you feeling it up.
I'll look to Ezekiel and say, the plan is to go tomorrow, right?
I assume we'd want to rest. There's no point in setting out in the middle of the night. Did she mention how long? How far away she was?
Klaus, since I have that kind of, you said for some reason I have that sense of the direction, do I have any sense of how far away it is as well?
Not exactly.
Does not exactly mean I have a sense, or I just have no idea?
So logically, the ocean, the sea is about 2 days away. So unless she's on an island further out into the sea, which maybe is the case, you don't know.
Okay, so I'd probably be able to guess that it's maybe a couple days or less.
Well, then I'd appreciate the rest before we set out on a trip like that. So, if your friend wants to wait around, let's at least go grab everybody else, let them help us make our decision.
Okay. I was about to shoot back over to those guys, but this will be easier. So as you're heading over, the other crew, y'all have been dancing, drinking wine, ? Stepping on each
not
other's
drinking
toes?
the wine.
Okay. So y'all have been not drinking the wine, watching out as the others sing and dance and get drunk. A couple hours pass, and you see Ezekiel, Ellery, and Ball approach.
Ball had another vision and spoke to the lady. She sent one of her scary death orbs to lead us to her.
That's one way of describing it.
What?
I think she's expecting us. She wanted us to come tonight, but Ezekiel is right. We should wait. Get a good night's rest.
Okay. So do you guys just go to bed?
If we're not going to keep talking to Clyde, then I guess so.
You can talk to Clyde. It's whatever you guys want to do.
I can't talk.
Okay, I'll talk to Clyde. I want to start off with talking to Clyde by asking him a little bit more about the Red Wolves, since we've seen them, and I really want to get the story down so that I can properly tell it. You know, I'm a storyteller, and I like to tell stories about the things that I come across, especially the strange things that not everyone gets to see. I would like to. So, kind of starting off with that.
Sure. I'm sorry, I don't know much about it, unfortunately. Just kind of showed up. They heard of things, but not much more than what they look like around here. All along the Skyfall path, but beyond that, there's a smart creature, whatever it is, acts like a dog, but can't be told what to do. But I don't really know where it came from. I don't know why it stayed here.
That's more than okay. Is there
you
only
said you fed it. Does it have any particular diet?
I'm not sure. I tried feeding it before. It doesn't seem to take. So I stopped trying and didn't starve. It might be getting to squirrels or something in the forest.
Insight check. No. That's a 7.
He seems to be
super legit.
Seems to be telling the truth. He doesn't know much about it, other than it hangs around.
And we're all here at this point.
Sure, yeah.
So, I'm gonna ask, so how did it get a name like Indigo? Considering what it looks like, I'd think a name like Red would be more appropriate.
Well, yeah, that's actually a pretty good one. Called it Indigo because of his eyes. You've seen them. And you do remember the eyes are the color indigo. But yeah, red's not a bad one. Maybe if another one shows up here.
Let's hope not.
So, is there only the one then?
As far as I know.
So you're the one who gave the name Indigo?
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm gonna go get a refill here. Y'all have a good night. As he's just surrounded by 7 people, one of which is a giant, a couple others perhaps in armor, and he just kind of backs out of the scary ring.
Oh yeah, can we sleep in your barn again tonight?
That's fine, that's fine. He calls as he just gets away from y'all. Scary 7 people staring at him. But yeah, he goes and gets wine and then sits somewhere else in the barn.
Well, we didn't get any more information about the pillar, but it was kind of hard to bring it up. So.
Oh yeah, Ball, did you ask her about the pillar?
No.
This week, the gang aimlessly walks from barn to barn.
I knew what we wanted to ask, but I don't talk. Guys.
Let's just call this a wash. Everybody want to go to sleep? Maybe we'll wake up tomorrow and we'll be able to figure this out.
Okay.
Unless we want to set out now and make camp somewhere.
Has Orizana been hanging out at the edge of town this whole time?
Yeah, but when she saw some of y'all going to the barn, she hung out nearby.
Okay.
And ate something, so she's fine. She probably made her way to the barn a little earlier than y'all. The Clyde's barn to sleep. So y'all are kind of at the barn. The party's just getting started there. They go to probably 2 a.m. It's maybe 10:30?
Don't know about everybody else, but I think Amson's going to stay a little bit later at the party.
I'll stay with
Yeah,
Amson.
I think I'm going to stay a little bit longer too.
Stay too.
Okay. So you'll stay at the party. Do y'all go to sleep afterwards? Do y'all travel?
Yeah, I think we're going to go to bed.
Okay. All right. Wasn't sure because Ezekiel asked. So you guys, some of you stay later. The music is loud, goes until 2 a.m. You can drink as much as you want. Free wine. And eventually, unless you wanted to do something, you'll eventually make your way to Clyde's barn where you pass out on simple cots on top of piles of hay. Waking up in the morning, the sun rising. You hear the animals making noises, and the farmers beginning to get up and get their tools out and begin farming once again. You are gathered in the barn. What do you do?
Can we please do something today?
We're going to go meet. I was about to say kill. Go meet a witch.
Exhilarating. Let's move, please. I'll get down on my knees and beg if I have to. I don't know what the hell we're doing, but I'm bored as hell.
What, you didn't like the party?
Thought we were doing stuff. It felt wrong.
Well,
yeah, the longer we're here, the more wrong it feels.
I had a thought, though. These people are farmers, and they're peaceful folk for the most, apparently. I still don't trust that pillar thing, but Daphne's been protecting them for gods know how long. If we do go out there and defeat her and remove her influence, are these people going to be able to defend themselves?
I've been thinking about that too.
It's not it's no Severwind, but it's not a forgiven land. Bugbears and bandits and whatnot. Are we dooming all of them if we take her out of the equation?
I think that's probably our next step, is to investigate what exactly she does around here, and whether or not it's malicious.
personally, I think anyone that is disrupting the natural order of things so significantly here, even if it is a form of protection, it should be stopped.
Well, Daphne said she was misunderstood. Maybe find out, as Amson said, what it is she does first.
Right. I definitely think we should go in and parlay.
Maybe she is misunderstood, but I don't like how she's been dealing with you.
Not always the friendliest. And I'll kind of tap on my hilt.
I suppose it makes sense. Ball's the biggest threat, visually. Having him on her side is the best.
She also seemed to have, the fire flower. Ball tends to ignite on occasion.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't that elf we captured say something about his heart?
I don't speak Sylvan, but I think so.
If I recall, yes. It was interested as to, I believe, what she could do with someone like Ball.
That's what bothers me.
Yeah. Well, we play it like we did at Ustax, only better this time, and we're gonna keep Ball safe.
Ustax?
Oh, Ezekiel.
Ezekiel, let me tell you the
tell
story
you on the road
about Ustax and how
and I suppose
royally we messed that up.
Let's go find that light. See if it's still waiting for us.
I can fill Ezekiel in about that debacle on the road.
Okay. So y'all, Warzona makes her way to the north of town, ready to go if she has to, as y'all head back towards the pillar. And it takes you a second to see it at first, because in the daylight it's very dim. There's a tiny purple glow struggling to stay alight in the daylight, but it's floating there. It's trying to hide in the shadow of the pillar, but it floats there. And as you get closer, it kind of begins to float up, flickering in and out of existence with the daylight, slowly drifting away to the west-southwest.
That will be our guide.
And it travels at about a walking pace, maybe a speed walk. Nothing crazy, but a good hiking, marching pace. and you're traveling for the next 2 days. You can fill in Ezekiel on Ustax and that debacle. I think George knows it, which is great. And you can do anything else you want if you wanted to do anything for the next 2 days as you travel through these willow forests. There's no trail. You're just walking over roots and through grasses, and every now and then you have to cross a creek. You notice at night the light grows in brightness substantially, and then during the day it grows dim again. Taking watches, nothing is set upon you, whether beast or elf or man. As you begin on the second day, you begin to hear the waves nearby.
I think on the first night that we camp, I'm going to try and figure out how to use the bone shiv that Vesper gave me.
Okay. Yeah, so toying it around with it, you can eventually find out it does work. It hurts. It feels just like stabbing something into your arm, but you can stab it into your arm and sheath it. Once it's in, the pain stops, and you can kind of tell it's there, but you can't feel it by squeezing your arm. And then you can pull it out. Again, it hurts when it goes in or out, but once it's in there, it's fine.
So I'm going to just leave that in there for now and not mess with it too much.
Okay, so you have the bone shiv embedded in your forearm?
Yeah, let's go with forearm.
Sure. Okay. Probably doesn't matter, but you have it in your forearm. As you guys travel and you hear the waves rolling in, you can smell the salt air. These willow trees here have the willow leaves growing down as well as moss that kind of hangs interspersed in the branches. As you're walking through, you see movement ahead. You see something maybe 5'7", 5'8", golden skin, tribal tattoos of black. Wild hair that goes down to their shoulders. You see a Verdana that kind of stands there looking at you. Spear in one hand.
Hands up.
Oh, right. I'll call out at Sylvan. Hi. Take us to your leader?
This way. As he turns and begins to use the spear as a walking stick.
Well, we're getting in.
What time of day is it?
At this point, it's probably 1 or 2 o'clock. It's a little bit afternoon. As you follow the Verdana, he walks towards the ocean. You can hear the waves getting louder. You cross another creek. This time, there's a combination of stones and logs that have been placed to give this sort of bridge across it. The bridge sort of bows under the weight of you all, but you cross with no problem. Eventually, you can see the Verdana that's walking ahead. You see a beach that stretches out before you, golden sands. You see a few other Verdana. You see to the right, there's a small campfire that's still cooking some sort of bird or squirrel or who knows what, with a few Verdana kind of sitting cross-legged around it. There's a barrel, like a wine barrel of some sort, that's embedded in the sand. 2 Verdana are sitting there drinking out of it. And you also see a tent of off-white linen kind of flapping in the wind. Standing outside of it, you see a Verdana with a hole in its chest, with light and flames flickering and emitting from it, standing outside of the tent. The Verdana kind of takes you onto the beach as the rest kind of look over at you, a few of them standing up, picking up their weapons, but not notching arrows or anything like that, just prepared. As the Verdana kind of takes you towards the tent.
Do we know that Ball can understand Sylvan? Or just Ezekiel?
I think y'all all figured that he might be able to understand it, or I can't remember.
Yeah, I tried to talk it out with him, so I think you know that.
Okay.
But as we are going in, I'm just going to reach into my pocket to pull out some powdered silver and iron, and I tap Ball's shoulder and give him protection from evil and good.
Perfect. I'm going to cast... do I want it on me? Check it. Yeah, whatever. I'll cast tongues on myself so I can understand what's going on.
Okay. You'll kind of gather with the Verdana, kind of stopping just at the edge of the sand line when you're still kind of on the ground in short grasses. You see the Bloomheart step to the side as the flaps of the tent are pushed open, and you see a woman step forth. Tan skin, wearing something between a bathing suit and a dress of gold, shimmering in the light. She has short brown hair, eyes large and golden, and all of you, despite preferences, see this creature as maybe the most beautiful thing you've ever seen. Unnaturally so, as if carved, as if created this way. This couldn't happen by chance. She steps out gracefully, barefoot, bare feet walking across the sand, smiling as she makes her way, just stepping a few feet out, standing in the sand. The Verdana turns and looks at her, and she kind of nods, and he steps aside. The Bloomheart is right next to her, nearby. So good to finally meet you. Please, step forth. Welcome to the Daydream Bask. We have wine, we have food. Let us have a conversation.
Calvin groans.
She's speaking in common?
She's speaking in common.
Well.
At the same time.
Go ahead.
Well, thank you for the hospitality and the warm welcome. We appreciate it.
Of course. I'm glad you're here. After all this time, after this unfortunate misunderstanding, my friends can be a bit hasty at times.
Oh, it's no trouble at all. I'm somewhat used to it in a way. But, yes, let us have a small conversation and try to understand each other better.
She walks over to the barrel. Before she gets there, one of the Verdana standing there pours a cup. Using not the cups they're using, which are just wooden, bamboo-looking things, they pull out some sort of goblet made out of gold. A chalice of some sort, handing it to her. She delicately takes it, sips, moves back to her position. Well, you have something of mine, something I would like returned. I understand you are reluctant to do so. It is so important. It will die without me. Its petals freeze off even now.
Well, to be perfectly honest, I don't think we certainly don't understand it as well as you. We know a little bit about it for now, but what exactly does this flower do?
It's an arch flower. Each of the courts has a different type. Orchid, tulip. This one is of one of the houses. The court of summer. There's not many left. The seeds, they are rare. The lineage, frail. There's great power in them. And without them, the courts may become imbalanced. It's important that they remain where they are, that I can tend to them and regrow them.
So you're just going to find another chest to shove it into?
What he means to say is, why do you have these flowers in some select individuals? And why do they go out running around where they can be potentially eliminated by wandering adventurers?
And why did one of them try to drown me?
There's been some overlap, some spillover through the slumbering eye. It's unfortunate business, but those here, most don't understand as you seem to. Most don't react as you do with words, but with swords and weapons. They do not hesitate. And my work must continue. And so I need protection. And she nods to the Bloomheart standing beside her. I understand some of that has been taken from me as well. Ego, my dear friend, he didn't come back.
Is that the one that tried to kill us?
His methods can be blunt at times. She looks at Ball.
Wait, just want to interject there. What methods? What was the intent then? methods could be construed as killing us.
I always advise words first. Talking. Sometimes others draw their weapons at the first sight of someone like Ego. He's used to that. He can be a bit jumpy because of it. Well, he was jumpy because of it. He's not used to anyone sharing words with him, someone that appears like him. So if he saw someone draw a weapon, I'm sure he leapt into action. I tell him to wait.
He didn't have our weapons drawn.
Oh. No, not him. And she looks at the blue mark.
No, she's talking about the troll that attacked us in the night.
Oh.
Oh.
Yeah, no, that was our fault.
Yeah, about that.
That was us.
Yes, I can see that. As she looks at Ball, who has the wine cask shoulder pad kind of attached to his armor now. It's okay. I can't do anything about it now, but returning the flower would, it'd be a step in the right direction. You do have it, don't you?
Before we get to that, Haamel, what is happening there? And what is that pillar that no one seems to want to talk about?
Show me the flower. You don't have to give it, but show me that it's here, and I'll tell you.
I have a question. Do you need the flowers to keep the fright away?
You've been talking to someone, so you have some idea already.
Well, you did say we should start using our words.
Good.
Why don't you talk a little bit? Then maybe I'll show you the flower.
You're onto something. But it's not the flowers that keeps the fright away. They are power of the summer court. Power I help to extend.
So what is this fright that you're keeping away?
Things have changed. Beyond the slumbering eye, things have changed. The court's return. Upheaval. The crescents. The dreams flow like rivers once more. But here we are. A war is coming. It's already started between the courts. And the summer court and others need soldiers willing to fight without fear, and the pillar eases them into their service. It is a recruitment tool, not a pretty one, but an effective one. There, you know a little more.
So you keep their town safe so they can provide you with their oh-so many children.
Well, someone, yes, from time to time. She looks over at the Bloom Heart sitting next to her. Emotionless, dead eyes, just staring at you all, gripping their weapon.
I have a question.
And
just a quick question. Are all of the Bloomhearts elves?
All of the ones that are here are Verdana, except for the one that's standing beside her. This one is wearing, like the other one was, a headdress of some sort that's covering up the ears. It's hard to tell. You could get closer and try to tell then.
Alright, that was my only question.
And how much choice do they have in making this transition?
I don't deal with that side of the fence. It's handled by someone else, and they appear, and they're recruited.
A friend of yours in the village?
Yes, one it seems you've spoken to. Now, if our conversation is to continue, I've shared with you, surely you can share with me.
I'll look around to everybody. Do I get nods? Alright, I'll pull out the flower.
Okay. And you've put it in that little container? Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay. Good. So, what will it take?
You say you're needing soldiers for your court. Does that affect the INL?
That's a question that's bigger than even I.
It's just the Verdana are attacking travelers and residents of this place, and...
The Verdana are not the Daydream Bask. Some Verdana are, but they are an entirely different sect. We too have to fight them off.
But there was a Bloom hurt in the ambush that came for us after we had let 2 Verdana scouts go. 2 that spoke of liberating this land, making it theirs again.
There's some overlap.
Is there any way you can guarantee safe passage?
In the Daydream Bask I can.
But not through the INL.
Can you?
Do I buy what she's saying? That she doesn't have anything to do with that?
Doesn't have anything to do with...
Like, that she... Do I believe her when she says that she's different, that the Verdana are split and she's not controlling it all?
You can roll an insight check.
I'd like to as well.
Okay.
19.
Roll insight. As Ball kind of takes off the barrel cask on it off his armor and kind of places it somewhere.
21.
17.
To all 3 of y'all, she seems to be telling the truth about that as best she can. It seems like it's a complicated issue, but that there is some that are following her, and then some that don't, and some kind of in between. I'll ask again, what's it's gonna take?
Well, I can't speak for the rest of them, but I will say for me, I don't particularly want to give you the flower back, if I'm going to be honest. Your manipulations of both the natural world and that town, and whatever abomination you have created there standing beside you, are an insult to the great spirit of Seema. But I am just one vote of many.
Surely that isn't your final answer. Surely you can see the logic in returning what is rightfully mine. And Ezekiel, I need you to make a wisdom saving throw.
+3 or whatever.
Yeah. God
25.
damn it. You son of a bitch. She has this confident smirk on her face. And for the second time in the last couple of days, someone resists her. You can tell as she kind of looks shocked that does not happen often. As Ezekiel, you feel a very strong wave of her willpower washing over you, pulling you in with a charming magnetism. As you see her beauty, surely something that looks this beautiful cannot be evil. But it washes over you. You resist it, and it leaves you with a weird churning in your stomach as you felt you were almost there, but you were able to pull through it.
I've only been half listening, but I haven't really heard anything that really explains why we should, other than something, everybody's got one, it's yours, yet they fight us, but you don't control them, but they're still yours. I don't get it. What are we doing?
Yeah, I don't give a shit about this flower. I don't want it particularly. What I do give a shit about is people being chained.
Give me the flower now.
I know you are, but what am I?
You see her nose twitch and crinkle up, and it's kind of cute. And then flames begin to build in her hand.
Okay, everyone wait.
And Melly, you get the first reaction as she's beginning to draw flames in her hands. Actually, do you guys want to take a quick 5-minute break? Do y'all need it? Bathroom or something?
Please.
Before we jump into this? Okay. So let's try to keep it short. Can we go 9:45? That's 4 minutes?
Yeah.
Okay. 9:45.
Next time on Back to the Story.
We came here to understand you as guests.
Melee falls in the roaring flames, unconscious.
Well, I'm going to let you guess what I'm going to do.
You notice magic, she seems to be able to naturally be resistant and push it over. But this time, and you see this deep bluish purple form beneath, with a wrinkled, scarred face, juxtaposed against the beauty on her left side.
For part 2 of this episode of Back to the Story, you can find it on Stitcher, Google Play, Player FM, or TuneIn. If you'd like to support the show, feel free to buy us a coffee at ko-fi.com/backtothestory.